right, what's up, y'all? This is the one-on-one with Supervillain. So this one is starting off a little bit unique. Now, I normally see her when she's on here, but she wants to do a live on-air reaction. So just get to it. I'm with Jolene. I'm gonna see how this goes. All right, so here you are. Okay, you got the cute little different colors. Okay, you went pink now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
With
nice.
that pink robe, basically, with tried for the white
Yes.
in the front.
All right, I see you. I see you. How have you been?
Good. I gotta turn the
Good.
fan up for a briefly. So,
Oh, you all hot? It's hot out there.
not really. It's raining. It's just I don't know when I put the ring light on and I get
Oh, the heat
yeah.
it generates and
It's
everything.
not even doesn't even generate. It's just the act of doing webcam communication. I guess I don't know.
No, I get it. I get it. It's like it's supposed to be hot out here now, and so I really shouldn't complain. Like it's 70 something degrees and it feels beautiful.
Yeah, it
Oh, I
is.
just saw you. I just saw your text. Sorry, running late trouble with this. No worries. No
Yeah,
worries.
I don't. That was weird.
No worries.
Basically, I unplugged it and plugged it back in. It's fine
And
now.
that's typically how it goes. So what else was going on?
Not much. Not much. I mean, I got
I,
my hair done yesterday. My scalp hurt so much during the process. It was like
Oof.
4+ hours, you know?
Oof.
Yeah, because
I'm glad
they gotta bleach everything, wash out the bleach, then paint everything, then it takes a while.
I am so glad I just shaved my head with my own razors. I'm good.
Yeah,
Life is good. So I'm gonna get this out the way. I still have yet to go see that certain movie that came out.
I haven't
'Cause
seen it either.
Everybody was like, so everybody I know, of course, out here was like, yo, if you went to see it, I said, no, I'll wait till it comes on.
Yeah, at first, I had bought a ticket because I have AMC the A-list.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, the night before, I'm like, I don't know if I actually want to see it. Then all the stuff came out about the CGI, all the dead people, the AI, the dead people, and I'm like, that's kind of iffy.
Wait, so here's my thing. I knew they were putting in, I knew they had to put in. I'm not mad at the AI because it's like I think what it's now like they've been AIing certain things. It's just that when we hear it now.
So the thing with Christopher Reeve is very iffy at best because he was very famous about I don't ever want to be portrayed as standing up. He only allowed that once while he was alive. Like after he was paralyzed, he was like, "No, you will never portray me standing up, other than one specific instance."
I didn't know that. I don't think a lot of people knew that.
And George Reeves killed himself because he was overwhelmed with playing Superman. So bringing him back as Superman is like, hey, this is uncomfortable.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. And it's just and then I just hear it also just looks like shit. And then
And I hate
the
the fact
story
that
is nonsense.
Yeah, and Muschietti tried to justify it, said, no, I needed the CGI to look better. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, I think, the biggest problem, aside the Ezra Miller shit.
Oh God. Yeah, of course, beside that.
Because I mean, that's the number one thing, no matter what. I think this movie is 5 years too late.
Yeah,
look, if this movie would have came out 5 years ago when it was supposed to come out, everybody would have been on board.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, if it came out before all of the nightmare news of Ezra, definitely people.
Oh yeah,
even then,
that's a given.
Again, because neither of us has seen it. We've just only heard about how it looks bad, just the effects look bad, and I'm like, all right.
I also heard the story is just bad. I was like, I heard.
I read the Wikipedia synopsis. I'm like, so it sounds like basically it's a poor version of Lego Movie 2 because it's just I don't know. It doesn't make sense either.
It should not have been Barry versus himself. It should have been Thawne.
Even then, I don't know. Who knows? Because there's so much work just to introduce Thawne. That's a whole other thing.
Well, this is why I say you could do Thawne, and hear me out for this, because the goal, you were hoping all this on a sequel eventually, because there was this big belief that it was going to do a hundreds of millions
Insane.
opening weekend.
You love how Tom Cruise said, "Yeah, this movie is great. I called up James Gunn just to talk about it." I'm like, I don't believe you, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you're trying to help push it.
Mister does not like superhero movies in general.
Here's the best thing about it, and I love saying it's the best thing for me. It only made 60 million its first weekend.
It's insane. It's so
which
great.
means it is going to make probably 30 million, 40 at the most this weekend. The
It's so
fact
funny.
that Across the Spider-Verse was able to come back to number one.
There's the other thing. So there's so many things. Like, all right, Flash. One, you're doing a Flashpoint movie as your first movie, which is already a problem because that doesn't really make sense because that's to reset everything.
But that's
And
why.
it's also
That's why
like
it makes sense.
also nobody knows who Barry is anyway, so it's just like, all right, we've got to introduce your entire deal and then just fuck around with the multiverse basically right after one of the best multiversal movies ever came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like like, oh, we're coming out after Across the Spider-Verse? Yeah, we're just gonna like crawl in a hole and die. That's what we're gonna do.
If Walter Hamada wasn't gone already, this would have fired him for sure. If Hamada wasn't gone, this would have fired him because you spent over $300 million total to get this shit done.
I'm shocked that like I'll be shocked if there's no blowback on Zaslav.
But how can it be?
I mean, because he's the one that's currently in there. And that's what people think about. They don't think about like, oh, the new regime. They thought, and like and the other problem is like, will this blow back to James Gunn, who was literally just brought on to write the sinking ship?
Right.
And it's just like, I had no control over this movie. I'm just going to talk about it like it's great. It's the greatest movie I've ever seen. Buddy, you made Guardians 3, which is way better.
Here's the problem. Zaslav is not, because Zaslav is already dismantling Warner Brothers.
I know, that's the other, like, this movie, which is by all accounts atrocious and stars a criminal, came out, got a lot of money, made nothing, and Batgirl was hidden away for tax rebates.
Because they don't tell you how Zaslav feel again. But if for people who do research,
unwatchable.
Yeah,
according to who?
Again, Zaslav is a racist. Zaslav has so many far right wing connections. It makes sense. It makes sense why Zaslav said that. But to say, if like everybody knows Zaslav is, I saw somebody saying, man, they should sell Warner Brothers. He's not gonna sell it.
He's already in like the process of selling it piece by piece.
Well, he's not gonna sell it collect. He's selling the sheer fact that they're gonna put the HBO shows on Netflix lets you know what's about to happen.
Yeah, like I already saw like a lot of the Arrowverse shows are back on Netflix.
Oh yeah, they've been back for a while.
Yeah, and like it was like, oh wow, okay, weird. Like the Batman show, like they're not going to Netflix. Like the animated one, the Bruce Timm one, or they're not going to the HBO, which I'm like, this is your thing. Like,
well, Zaslav already said. I remember Zaslav said he wanted to license out the stuff, which I was like, if you're doing new stuff, that could work.
Yeah,
but that don't make any sense.
Like I understand like why CW is kind of failing because they don't own the streaming rights because they don't own the shows. Like they, like people can watch on the CW app, but like that's only for a limited amount of time, and they don't own the Arrowverse shows. So
CBS
like,
does.
Yeah, and like Warner Brothers.
I thought it was CBS.
I don't the Arrowverse.
Shows? Yeah, because CW.
Warner Brothers owns all those characters, though. So.
It's so the rights, the way the shows are, they own the characters. It's the different thing to see. The CW is an offshoot of CBS. It's so weird.
Yeah. And it's just like, all right, okay. So that's why they're focusing on basically non-scripted stuff.
It also helps.
Yet Superman and Lois is getting a 4th season, and I'm like, how? I mean, good for them. The show's good.
Look,
but it's shocking.
It's very shocking because Superman and Lois, everybody was like, first of all, it's been the most solid thing for the past couple of years. Fair, cool. Flash's biggest issue always was 22 episodes.
Mhm.
But the problem saying that is TV used to be 22 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, TV
But
used to be
like time
22
has
episodes.
changed.
But here's where the problem comes on the behind the curtain with the writers, because writers used to write 22 episodes and there was more money coming in. So now when you have to write 13, you get these cheap ass networks and streaming companies that like don't want to pay. But all in still, Flash would have all the Arrowverse shows as a whole that had 22 episodes would have benefited from being just 13.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree.
They'd have benefited from 13.
Legends is my favorite, and that's the one that's always 13.
For a reason, because there's no need for a bunch of filler.
Yeah.
And so you have all that, and now
so it's interesting because I agree, but on the one hand, it's possible to make it work with 22 episodes if you didn't do one long story arc. If you did like, hey, here's a two-parter, here's just a single one and done episode, like make it more like Star Trek in the 90s, basically.
Well, they try. If you think about it,
they tried towards the end, but they also did it with terrible storylines.
Well, no, remember, not even just the end. Like if you look at like seasons 4 and the season when Barry got locked up, that's when they did its own. They were starting to do little self-contained stories within the season, and that kind of helped. But it was still, you were still obligated to these 22 episodes. So instead of doing the Young Justice route of we got 22 episodes, so here's the first 2, and the next 5 chapters are 4 episodes apiece.
Yeah,
that would have been the best bet. But
and even then, like, so of the final season, because I watched it all, like my favorite episode is probably by far the one where I think Becky Sharp comes back, Hazard.
Yeah, and this most recent one,
yeah, she had the bad luck powers, and I'm like,
yeah,
hey,
well, because she got the ring or whatever that changed.
Yeah, she got engaged, and I'm like, oh, this character's alive again, good for her. And like, that was just a fun episode with like, it wasn't high stakes.
It was just like, and it gave Cecile something to do.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you felt this way, but I've had 6 different people, no less, and I bullshit you not come to me and say, what the fuck did she have on them that they kept giving her all this stuff? Like, what pictures does she have? And I was like, you got to think about it in the grand scheme of the show, because your 2 leads don't get along, right? Your 2 leads don't get along. Jesse L. Martin was like, all right, I'll holler, I'm done. I'm
like, part-time, baby.
I'm good. Danielle Panabaker is, I'm part-time as well, right?
Her story was baffling this season.
That Keon shit was what?
Like, I get that you named this character early on, but like, she's just like Dark Dimension Britta. All she did was dye some blue streaks in her hair.
I just didn't.
It was nonsense. Like, all right, if you don't want to have to deal with the makeup of Frost, she could just be Caitlin.
She could just be fucking Caitlin. That would have been so...
Keon did not add much, and I know people that were actively annoyed by it. So
to have Oliver basically tell her, you are the earth, you are God. What? Look, the Oliver episode was great.
Yeah.
The way they brought him back when he was like, look, I got told I can do this only in special occasions, only when the multiverse need me. So don't think I'm out these streets. But it was so much. Like, so when you get, so you get Panabaker gone. No one gives a fuck about Allegra and Chester.
Yeah, like, I think they're cute, but they're not like,
you don't care in the grand scheme.
Like,
so all you have left,
give me Sue Dearborn any day over them.
I forgot what it was why she didn't come back.
There's no need to bring her. Like, so
no, they were trying to. No, they were trying to. There was a reason. I got to remember.
Like last season, she had some guest stars. Yeah, but like, they can't bring Ralph back because they don't want to. They refuse to recast him, even though he's a shapeshifter. And like most of her story was intertwined with him. So like she's just she was a delight every time she's on that show.
Mm-hmm. It just, so you get to the last, you're like, yo, so we just got Danielle Nicolette. Yo, give her everything. Who you gonna make him? She's Virtue. Huh?
All right, whatever.
The
I
last
mean, she's a
episode.
likable actress, so
That's what I'm saying. Everybody liked her, so everybody's like, "Cool." I had nothing wrong with it, but
tiny
everybody's
and
just
fits
like,
in a pocket. But
"Look." Everybody was just. I had nothing wrong with it. It was just like everybody was like, "Yo, did we not realize how much she is
what
the focus?"
what surprised me so much with the final season was how like Impulse did not appear once.
Uh huh.
I'm like, oh, what happened there?
Well, you notice you
I love
barely got.
Excess, so I'm happy
Well,
with her.
remember, you got Wally for one episode.
Oh yeah, we've known that like he left a while ago because there's always the rumors of tensions, which you can speak more
Why do you
about
think?
Grant not
Why,
getting along with most of the
why
black
do you
people.
think Jesse Quick never showed back up?
Well, so Jesse Quick we know got another show, but then you
So did
know,
but so did XS. So did Jessica.
so
Jessica was on other shows.
so I can't speak because I don't know all that stuff behind whatever. But like the moment post crisis, they said, "Yeah, no, Jesse Quick died." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, she gone. That's how you write somebody out. Like, yeah, they gone. But then they say, post crisis she died. But then it'd be like, no, the multiverse is still here.
I know
Because
that's the weird thing. But also, like, I already in my role play, I already wrote a way to bring her back easily. You could just have her Earth Prime doppelganger that is Jesse Chambers.
Yep. She doesn't have to be a speedster or anything.
Yeah, no, it can literally just be like the actual comic Jessie Bell Chambers. She's not related to Harrison Wells. She just happens to look exactly like the same Jesse Wells. Like
That's
it's
it.
not difficult. And I'm
Not
like,
difficult at all. But so like that's gone. And then it's
and
like
also
now.
like the it was a decent finale, I guess, but like I think a lot of people expected an Arrowverse finale. Like this is wrapping up the universe.
I didn't. I didn't.
And I expected at one point because I knew Oliver was coming. I'm like, can they just at least have one line about rescuing the legends from time jail? And it's just like, oh no, Sarah Lance's ending is she's pregnant in time jail. That's as far as anyone will ever know.
Because the problem is if you say anything, the rule of thumb is if you establish it, you have to do it. So there was like, all right, we're not gonna go do Legends. So at least you gave us Diggle. All I need, the only one I didn't get out of them to close it, I needed Felicity. That's what I needed.
Cisco wasn't there either, but he tried, but scheduling.
Scheduling wouldn't let him do it. But
Yeah.
I just needed Felicity more than any. If I didn't get Cisco, I needed Felicity.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted Felicity and Mia to show up because she showed up in Armageddon. And
I don't
Armageddon
even need
was
Mia. Look,
yeah, but I love Mia. So
Mia, give me Felicity because Felicity was the one. It started with Felicity and Barry.
yeah, sure, but like we know that Mia left Central City to go find current day Felicity, so they should be
Yeah.
a package deal together, and that would
Yeah.
make the cat fans happy.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. So, your favorite wrestling company now has another show for some weird reason, just to appease one person.
Impact? You know Impact.
I know I'm messing with you. You're like Impact? No, I
Like,
still
Impact?
don't.
Yeah,
I do
right.
not. Yeah, because it's just like everybody keep being like collision. I'm like,
Yeah,
what's
like I
makes no
skipped his
sense.
promo. I watched that good match between Andrade and Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Watched that Miro squash. Then I skipped the main event. I watched the women's match, of course.
Yeah, I just was like, you made a show so Punk can be on it by itself, and then have him use the line. This is so we can put more talent over. Then what the fuck is the point of Rampage?
Look, I don't give a fuck about Punk. So
No, I'm just saying, like,
I don't really care about. I haven't watched AEW like in so long. It feels like people tell me Forbidden Doors this weekend. I'm like, I do not care.
I guess
I'm going to a comic convention on tomorrow. Gonna meet my boy Jim Ballett. He drew all my favorite Catwoman comics.
Nice.
Then there's Pride on Sunday, unless it gets rained out, which I hope it doesn't. It'd be my first Pride, so that'd be great.
Hope fingers
So like,
crossed for good weather.
Yeah, I mean it's already pouring now, so it's supposed
Fingers
to rain all
crossed that
week.
it'll stop. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the hope. But yeah, I don't give it like I don't like New Japan. So like why do I care about Forbidden Door?
I keep telling everybody keep being all this AEW, this AEW. I'm like, y'all keep just loving an indie fed with an unlimited budget. It is just a
Yeah, I
hobby
mean,
of some kind.
that is what I like. I do like an indie fed with an unlimited budget. I just like an indie fed that likes women with an unlimited budget. That's what I like.
That's
That's what
fair.
I want.
That is very fair. It's just
Yeah, and like Young Bucks, fine, whatever. I think they bring Hangman down, but it is what it is. I
I just
like
feel like my
the
problem.
what are they called? The Blackpool
Yeah,
the
Blackpool
British
Combat Club.
Combat Club, basically, and none of them are from Britain, which is still very funny. But like
Mm-hmm.
they started to bore me like 2 months ago. So I'm like, oh, all right. I guess they're the big threat of the company now. And I'm like, whatever. And then there's ROH, which I'm like, look, I'm not watching ROH. I know there's more women's matches on it, but it's Ring of Honor. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's basically dark now.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear if you like good wrestling, there's a lot of options. That's the benefit.
I think my thing is always this. I go for the biggest thing for me. AEW was supposed to be this number 2 alternate to WWE. I want to look. I'm fine with indie wrestling. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with pure wrestling as far as Ring of Honor. But if you're telling me there's another sports entertainment company to be able to be into, this is what AEW was supposed to be. And the beautiful thing about sports entertainment is there are storylines. Granted, sometimes they get wonky because WCW did it for sure.
Oh yeah, no. This is AEW is WCW too.
They way lowered it. Shit, 2.6. Because like Jesus, they do.
But like there's good wrestling, which is great. Like it is more of a wrestling show than a sports entertainment show, I would
It
say.
is absolutely, but even the entertainment part, it gets stale so quick because the person now. I feel like some of the personalities don't. They just don't know how to be personalities through a camera.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Like fucking nobody can make me care about MJF as champion. And I like when MJF wrestles. That's the frustrating part. He bores me as a character, but I'm like, oh, he's actually a good wrestler when he gets to go. He
I'm
just
always like,
rarely
what
does
is he
it.
supposed to be?
He's just Ric Flair. That's all
That
he
that
is.
that's all it is. It's Rick. Because I was like, is he? Because I was hoping he wasn't, but I'm like, one minute I'm doing a song and dance, but I'm a heel still. I'm
Yeah,
doing.
like that's my favorite era of AEW, the pandemic era, when they just did weird ass shit. Like, yeah,
And
we'll
it
have Matt
worked.
Hardy do the whole crazy shit with the
And it
teleporting.
worked.
Yeah,
It
like
worked.
they were forced into a situation and they thrived. And like I feel bad for so many people that like, hey, we're the mainstays of like we're the undercard mainstays of dark. We're helping like this YouTube show like thrive. And like, they hired Fuego, which was nice for him, but like Kylan King did so much for them and I'm like, "Nah, then we're not going to hire her." Cody will tweet about how people should hire her, but he wouldn't hire her himself. And I'm like, I'm happy she's an Impact because she's having so much fun. Like I got to see her live twice, and it's great.
Mhm.
Like also she's as tall as me, so that's wonderful. And but like she has to be in a spooky witch tag team where they do magic. It's great.
It's also funny. Like I think you just brought up some Cody not hiring. I don't think Cody had full hiring and firing powers.
You think I don't? Who knows? Like probably maybe not, but like I mean, Brandy worked there, so
I mean, that probably was the caveat to bringing him in. But if you look at it,
I mean they brought
from,
in Matt Cardona that one time, so
and I wouldn't be surprised that wasn't Tony Khan. Because Tony Khan is just a giant wrestling. We're about to get Goldberg, and they about to get
they
Goldberg.
talked about it. I'm like, oh god. I
They're
mean,
gonna
yeah.
get
Look,
Goldberg in
so here's
Wembley.
the funniest thing that like on other podcasts I love, War Rocket Ajax. They said, look, if we had $1 billion, we would do exactly what Tony Khan's doing. We would be the biggest money marks. Nobody like we can't fault him because we wish we were him.
Yeah.
We would just book things maybe differently, probably. But yeah, if I could be a money mark, sure, why not? Like that would imply that I'm rich and live a comfortable life. I just wouldn't tweet so much.
Man, I feel like if you run companies, you should stop tweeting. Like I was like, please, somebody tell James Gunn stop. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
tell James Gunn chill. Like, he
More
needs
people
to.
should be like Chris Pine, who is not on social media. He does not have a smartphone.
He don't.
I don't think so. I mean, whenever you see him at like premieres and he's taking photos, he's got a disposable camera. Or
I
like
mean,
he's got a flip phone. I think
well,
I've
I know
seen
a
him
lot of
with.
people. For some reason, disposable cameras have been making a comeback.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's can't really hack them. So
Look, Brock Lesnar literally does not have like a major phone, shit like that.
yeah, he doesn't like. He's at a point he didn't need to. It's like I'm good. I know people know how to contact me and they know my rights basically.
Brock, like, yo, just tell me these dates. Where do I need to be? When do I need to be there? I'll be there. Cool. I'm like, all right, bet, bro.
Yeah, wrestling wise, I've been watching like the usual Joshi stuff and NXT. NXT is my standby.
How do you like it? So I haven't watched in a minute
Um,
because
I
now
like it. I like it. I mean, I'm so
we're
Tiffany
at the
Stratton.
rebuild point again.
Huh?
We're at the rebuild.
Oh yeah,
point
because they
again.
drafted a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Hey, it means I got Tiffany Stratton as champion, and she is a delight. Like she knows her characters so well. Also,
Mhm.
she's a good wrestler, and like it's great. Like she does like it's like the Tiffy title. Like she's like I've like Tiffany Epiphany. When the first time I ever heard her say that, I was like, gold. Take my money.
You know what's funny to me about the whole thing with the rebrand of NXT? It really this should finally show people what I've been saying for the longest. Braun Breaker is not ready.
Yeah, I didn't really watch his match with Seth because I'm
It's
like,
just in general.
I don't
It's
really
just in
care about him.
general.
Like he was
Every
a fun
time,
face, but like he's
no,
no
it's just the
Carmelo
fact that every
Hayes.
time they
So
tried to bring him up, every time they tried to be like, yo, Braun Breaker should go up, and they take a whole batch of people and send him up, he is still in NXT.
yeah.
Like Carmelo Hayes is finna wrestle Baron Corbin at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which is
and like that's dope because I love Baron Corbin too. So
it's perfect because they're gonna put on a hellified match.
yeah, Baron Corbin delivers. Like
He
like character wise and wrestling wise, that man delivers. He's not like what he's not. He'll never be like the big over the top showman, but he delivers. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like Lone Wolf was whatever, but like Baron Corbin on Talking Smack ruled. Baron Corbin, when he is poor Baron Corbin that's broke and is just crying and trying to open a
I ain't gonna lie,
can.
that was probably my favorite Baron Corbin era when he was just fucked up, down, and despondent.
Yeah, he's just going, is this blood or bean juice? I don't know.
Like that was the best Baron Corbin for me.
Then he
And then,
like with a bunch of the casino. I'm like, all right, I'm here with it. The JBL era was meh, whatever. I didn't like that he was wearing that dumb vest, but
the JBL era was like it was a last ditch effort to try to make him somebody, but it was like it didn't work. And I was like, nah, because JBL, we're not believing, bro, that you believe this dude is a future wrestler. We don't believe you.
yeah. But like otherwise, that Dana Brooke came to NXT. I'm like, all right, you're not gonna get much to do much on the main card, but I've always enjoyed you.
She went on. I don't know if you saw her on Twitter.
I saw a post. I'm like, I get it. You people don't like me.
Yeah, she was like,
I was like, damn, girl.
Damn. I was like, how many people went at her that she had to post that?
That's so like, just it's not hard to be a decent human being. It's not hard to not be a jerk, you'd think, right?
You'd be surprised for some people. It's very difficult. They don't look. Because you have people who say their response and rebuttal instantly be, well, if you can't take the criticism, you shouldn't. I'm like, no. It's not that a person can't take criticism. This person doesn't want to be inundated with being told they're not shit consistently. No one wants that constantly thrown in their face. Look, Dana Brooke realizes, look, the best thing that happened to her at one point in time was the 24/7 title, right? She gets
Oh
it.
yeah, like I mean, she was fun 24/7 champ, I guess, because I didn't really watch that. I loved her in NXT the first time around. And she's back to doing her ridiculously erotic poses when she comes out. Like the moment she got called up, she was having less sexual entrances with all her muscle poses. I'm like, but she brought them back, so I'm like, thank you.
Well, I think it's because you had Mandy Rose, all them being sexy at the time. is. What the fuck was that? All right. Should just play. The fuck?
Weird.
But you got Mandy Rose, who was super sexual. And who, again, people can be like, when Mandy Rose coming back? I'm like, I don't think y'all understand. Mandy Rose never needs to come back.
Yeah, like she has no financial need to ever do anything other than post photos on her OnlyFans adjacent thing. She's financially fine.
Alexa Bliss being pregnant, because Lexi
Pregnant, and wasn't she also dealing with cancer?
She was a little skin cancer. She got it done,
Yeah.
but no, she was already done. She was
like
her being pregnant was like, oh, cool, I'm good.
Yeah.
You
we've had like this conversation. Like, there's so many women that like they reach a point. I'm like, I don't need to come back. And
most of the job isn't a dream anymore.
Yeah, and like that's why we always say it. Mickey James, I'm like, oh, props to her. She loves wrestling.
Yes, Mickey James loves wrestling. She's like, I'm just gonna keep doing this.
Hey, I don't care if I'm backstage training. I don't care if I'm like on screen wrestling. I'm a woman of a certain age, and it sucks that people don't push us as like because men will still get pushed at 50 and above. So.
Well, I think the problem,
and the problem is she's still so hot.
She's hot and she can still go.
Yeah.
She's not Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus is fucking terrible.
Again, I watched pay-per-views. That's me with WWE. So like, I was like, wait, she was a tag champ? I was like, I know she had a feud with Becky, and I'm like, all right, well, I liked her at WrestleMania. That was fun.
And they're using her to push Zoe Stark, which I'm fine with, but I need Zoe to have more of a personality.
That's fair. I like Zoe as a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's
what I have no
character-wise, she was even at like it was weird. I found it odd that she was called up, like because I'm like, oh, that was fast for you.
Dawn and Fire was fast for me.
I know they just won the tag titles, and I'm like,
I was like, wait, what?
Like, no, I love them. I love that. Her butt. I miss her butt. Her butt's so good.
I was like, and now they finna unify them belts.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. My friend showed me the photo of like them with the NXT titles against Ronda. I'm like, oh God damn it, why? Ain't nobody want that.
They about the uniform. They don't give a shit about women's tag team. They're like, well, fuck it, we'll just bring them all up.
That's how you know Vince is like still in control. That's how I believe Vince is still in control. It's like, oh, women's tag belts? No, I don't think so.
I mean, they'll keep them on the Raw and SmackDown, but as far as like NXT, it's just like, nah, we'll develop singles wrestlers. They won't develop women tag teams.
It's so annoying because like they had great tag teams and tag team stories in NXT. So,
yeah. What else is going on?
Not much. I'm getting more and more bummed out by corporations, basically, because Paramount Plus announcing all these cancellations and removals from Paramount Plus. I love Rise of the Pinky Ladies so goddamn much, and then like, no, it's canceled, and they're gonna remove it from Paramount Plus within the next few days. I'm like, what the fuck?
Let me check some real quick.
Prodigy was just canceled, and they're removing season 1.
I heard about that.
Season 2 will air on television, but it won't be on Paramount Plus. And I'm like, the fuck?
Did you see?
You're the Star Trek streamer.
Because it's all about paying people. It's all about paying people. And so if you got to pay people, you're like, oh, we don't have to deal with it no more.
Across the Spider-Verse is... Did we talk before we saw that? I don't know.
Not sure.
Greatest... there was a high bar set by Into the Spider-Verse
that nobody expected,
and it damn near matched it.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Where the fuck is my show at?
I don't know.
No, I'm looking to see. Hold the fuck on. Did they pull it?
What show?
American Gigolo.
Oh no. Zaslav gotta go.
Hold the fuck on. Hold.
That's
Nah, don't play with me. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't tell me it's gone. All shows. Let's go alphabetical.
All right, so I Google it. No, that's not it.
A-I-A-M.
Says so if I Google it and I click all watch options, Google Play, Vudu, Amazon Prime, and YouTube are listed.
Yeah, because it is not on Paramount Plus.
Corporations got to get brought down, Jay. We got to stop them.
Ain't that a bitch?
It's fucking bullshit.
Ain't that a bitch? Well, you know what? This is why I'm voting to strike. It don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, look, God, I wish I was a union job.
This is why I'm voting to strike. What?
I was talking like my friend is basically the head of his buildings union. He just ended up like he kind of knew it was going to happen when like he was talking with all the people about it. It was like, all right, yeah, no, I'm going to be the head basically. And so he talks about like we were talking like, oh, you work from home, it'll be so hard for you to get your people to union. I'm like, yeah, because they can't talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck.
And like he talked about some of the stuff when like how the company tries to convince them not to vote to go forward with the union by like providing videos from 1970 something, and it's like, hey, this is just the facts. And like my friend John, he's like, yeah, you know what, it was also a fact at the time that video was made, doctors saying cigarettes were good for your health.
Yeah, it's
and
not
like,
gonna kill you.
And of like the vote, he said like only 6 people voted against it out of like 40 or more. And like 2 I knew were going to vote against because one was previously in union, said nothing, they didn't do anything for him, and like another one was just like, but they both come around and love the union now since being in it.
Everybody's changed their mind on it, like, you know what, unions aren't that bad. You know what, I used to feel like when it came to unions, like I didn't, because I used to work at UPS. And one of the things was you had to join the union. Like it was just you have to join.
Oh yeah, I had like ShopRite when I briefly worked there.
You know, and I'm like, all right, okay, cool. And I didn't know what the purpose was, but it's like, oh, you get prevented from being fired instantly. You know, like I was like, all right, is that the benefit? And then, you know, when I worked at the airport, you got to join the union. And I know some people who actively pushed from having to join the union. And it was the worst decision they could have made because then the supervisors are literally nitpicking every fucking thing you're doing because they're like, we can fire you with no remorse, no remorse.
Yeah,
there isn't a pushback. So if you fuck up, you can be gone.
Yeah, like when I was in ShopRite, so it was basically like, after the 3 months you're in the union, like working there, like it's you're set basically. But I was only there for a summer job, which was only 3 months. So it's just
Wow.
yeah, I had to pay all those union dues and didn't really get anything out of it. So it's just like, at the time I was annoyed, but then I tried to get a job back at ShopRite, and it's like, no, we don't want to hire you back. I'm like, what the fuck? What did I do? This was a summer job.
So what I'm seeing it says,
were you mad at a college student in summer?
Jesus, did you make somebody mad? That's funny. I just, like now, like I said, being in the union SAG, I always am like, what's the point? I used to be like, what's the point? And now when situations like this come around with residuals and fighting with the studios and things like that, it makes sense. It also makes sense when it's like when you're working on a set where you have to have a break. So you have to have a break within 6 hours. You have to have a lunch within 8. And then everything after 10, you have to have a break every half hour. And if you do not get it, they get what's called meal penalties, and you get paid more for that. And so the production companies can sometimes be coming out of a whole lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
like, all right, cool.
Like we know Vince hates unions because New York is a union city. That's why he always hates going to the Garden.
That's why they don't do the Allstate. That's why they don't do the United Center. So if you remember
Chicago,
they only
in
Chicago.
Okay.
That's why they only did the United Center one time. That was SummerSlam '94. Because they were like, oh, we're good. And if we got Chicago's a big union town like New York.
Yeah.
And so they were like, because he was like, no, my crew puts the ring together. He's like, no, that's not happening here.
Yeah.
Our crew's putting the ring together. The set, you tell them how to do it. They're putting the ring together, the sets together. It's the union has to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he goes to the All-State, because it's Chicago adjacent. It's not Chicago.
Yeah. I always question, like, how do the WWE films work?
They're non-union.
Yeah. So, like, you cannot, like, if you act in them, you're not eligible to join.
It depends. So I'm in the union, but I'm what's also called FICOR. FICOR allows me to work non-union jobs. Now, initially, it was always frowned upon, but the craziest person in the world made it, John Voight. And he made it. He had a good point when he made it. He said, basically, you're telling me I just can't work unless it's union jobs. He was like, well, give me an option that will allow me to work in the union as well as non-union jobs. And the thing is, they're like, well, if you're FICOR, you can't vote for hold office and SAG. He was like, I don't give a fuck about holding office. I just want to work.
Yeah, yeah. So, but my question is, like, if you act like, say you're not in the Screen Actors Guild,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get cast in a WWE film, like many wrestlers do.
Mm-hmm.
Can, like, if you work enough of them, can you become eligible to join the Screen Actors Guild? Okay,
they
so
have to
it's
be
basically union
mm-hmm.
jobs to get in the union, even though it's hard to hire. Like, as a non-union actor, it can be hard to get into union jobs.
Absolutely.
It is. I don't know. Is that, like, do they even ever talk about, hey, you realize how difficult this is?
Well, because
for
also,
people?
also the thing is too, is if they were in the union, the shows would have to pay them that's how the WWE can set an easy contract, being non-union, because them being on TV, because once they establish their non-union show, boom, right? Now you're working non-union, whatever. But if they were to automatically be a SAG produced TV show, the wrestlers would be making killings more than what they do make, which is why they're allowed to make so much extra on the back end from merchandise and shit like that. It's not wanting to pay. It's literally just not wanting to pay more money.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that. I was just like, how can we get more wrestlers into the union, basically? And that's just get them cast as guest stars and stuff like, what I guess Seth Rollins is in the upcoming Captain America.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Once you do shit like that, see, they know. So, and because I got to get ready to wrap this, I got to do another one behind this. So, once you do projects like that, that's automatic. Now you're in the union. So, like Sasha Banks is in the union. Well, Mercedes
because of Mandalorian,
right? Becky Lynch might be, because she actually filmed for Eternals.
Oh, because like stunt coordination or what, something?
No,
or deleted scene.
She's in it. Yeah, she's actually in it. So, but I don't know if they gave it, because there's certain things like you need to have at least 3 roles or a main role, and hers probably isn't considered a main role, so it might not. But Mercedes Moné was a main role. Seth Rollins is a main role.
Oh, is it, or is it gonna be? Well, we'll find out.
Well, the Serpent Society is some of the villains.
Oh, I thought it was the leader still. Who knows?
It's part of the villains.
Okay.
But
all right. Look, I love the Serpent Society.
No, I know what you're saying. But he's been on set long enough.
Diamondback? Oh, God.
Yeah, we give me a real Diamondback, but he's been on set long enough to the point where it's not just a small thing.
Cool. Look, I'm happy when wrestlers get union jobs, because as Jesse Ventura said, hey, get a manager or get in a union, like, then you're, and like Kevin Nash, I love him. Like, yeah, no, I filmed a thing. I need to renew my union shit so I can renew my insurance.
Yeah, bro's in the union. Bro was Super Shredder. He good.
Yeah, Super Shredder. He was the Russian.
Like, in the Punisher. Like, I don't know if the Miz is, because I know his reality show is not union for sure.
Yeah, most of his movies are.
And most of his movies aren't. But he's probably. But the thing is,
maybe
too,
he gets in Mortal Kombat someday, and then he can get it.
Because he's getting he's doing is he's getting big ass chunks of money just to do it.
Yeah.
So
also, like, I'm sure he's happy either way.
Yeah, he's happy.
He loves his job and his family and wife.
He's set. They're all set.
Yeah.
But listen, I gotta wrap this because I gotta go do another one. I love talking with you. I love your hair.
Thank you.
To make sure I say it. Tell the people how they can find you.
You can find me at Jolene -negative on Twitter till it dies. Instagram. That's pretty much it.
Don't we all want Okay, they're moving him back. Okay. Don't we all just want Twitter to just finally go and just say bye?
Yes and no. Because
I mean, I'll miss the memories, but at the same time, it's like this hell. Because
how are we
now,
gonna coordinate this? I guess
I mean, we'll figure it out. But no, this is the
there's
best thing
no
I tell.
alternative. That's the problem.
This is the thing I was telling people. Now, back in the day, people with their verifications were the ones you were like, yo, they got some shit to talk about. Now I see somebody with a check mark. I don't want to hear shit you got to say.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all already know where to find me, but thank you as always. I will talk to y'all next time. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. I'm out.